5 seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the Summit 4 Chinese pre-qualifier semifinal round, which will actually be the last round for these two teams. Whoever wins will be advancing to the next stage, the full-on Chinese qualifiers, and the other one will be, unfortunately, eliminated. And we're down to the wire here with 1 point on the board for both teams, down to Game 3 in this best-of-3 series, and it all comes down to this. The draft is moving along quite rapidly, as we see that both teams have kind of figured out exactly what the other team is looking for in terms of early bans, and of course, I don't think either one of them want to be cornered with like the 8-second reserve time clock that we saw in game number 2. So, Dazzle ban along with the Spirit Breaker early on from CDEC. They don't want to give the Dazzle. They banned it in Phase 2 in Game 1. Then in Game 2, it got picked up in Phase 1, and they have to now move that even further into priority and ban it out as soon as possible. So with those heroes banned out, we do get some of the big ones. Heavy hitters like Tusk, which Yang played just so damn well on the mid lane, or could obviously be played in the off lane. We've got Lina, who's versatile in that regard as well, and then Earthshaker, who I suspect should be a support this game. Not for certain, but I think it should be.
5 seconds remaining.
We have Winter Wyvern, Shadow Fiend, and Bane. Inflame definitely going to be taking the Shadow Fiend to the mid. Wyvern probably going to be played by like June, and then essentially using Arctic Burn to zone for the Shadow Fiend for the first few levels. That's one of the 2 ways to really run Wyvern's early game, and it really kind of goes with this buddy-buddy thing that I've been seeing between June and Inflame. These guys have each other's back as a support and a mid, and that means a lot more activity on that front. Anyways, the Bane pickup is pretty interesting. I think it creates a lot of potential value in a lot of other follow-up picks. Different heroes will essentially have different opportunities to follow up the Nightmare. You have the Nightmare down, you can, obviously we've seen Light Strike raised, we've seen Leshrax, Mirana Arrow is a classic, just any kind of setup there with the Nightmare into Fiend's Grip. Another big thing is the Earthshaker pickup in response to the Bane. Fisher is a really good tool to interrupt Fiend's Grip, one of the best. So even if you get a Glimmer Cape, you're not going to be safe from the Fisher, and he's going to be able to cast that at a very long range. We're going to see VG.P once again go for Juggernaut here. It seems like that's Fan's hero this patch. The last patch it was Phantom Lancer. He played amazing on that hero, and he did it every chance he got. This time Fan is playing on the Jugger, and while I think he did do really well in game number 2, he seemed to struggle in game number 1 in terms of timing and tempo. So the only thing is I'm worried his item build might be a little bit too inflexible. You don't have to go for the same item build every game as Juggernaut, that's for sure. But should be still performing pretty well against CDEC.Y's youth lineup here. A Gyrocopter in particular is going to be a hero that he can deal with in his own right, and it's not a guaranteed matchup. In fact, these heroes oftentimes don't even go clash directly. There's a lot of collateral damage when it comes to Juggernaut and Gyrocopter. The Omni Slash going out on supports will kill them off pretty quickly, unless maybe like a Nightmare Invulnerability Frame saves them via Bane. The Gyrocopter does flat cannon damage to everybody, so that's going to be kind of his form of extra collateral. Anyways, beyond that, we're going to see the Darkseer banned out here. Obviously, CDEC Youth are looking for an offlaner, so with Clockwork, Doom, Darkseer, and Broodmother, and Spearbreaker all off the table, their options are thinning. And I'm not sure if you go back to like the Magnus for clumping for the Wyvern ultimate and the Shadow Fiend ultimate. If you maybe consider... Nah, I wouldn't have looked at Undying per se, but they're gonna ban it out anyways. And then yeah, I'm not so sure. There's options. Nyx Assassin I kinda like in this situation, but not that great against the Juggernaut, so we'll have to see. Anywho, VG.P potentially have their last pick, plenty of time to think about it, but I think they have a pretty good idea of what they're looking for here. It all comes down to if they're running the Yang, Tusk, and Dogfights Lina, or if they're just running their stand-in as the Lina. Both are viable here, but I guess the Shadow Fiend, I think the Lina mid would be better. So offlane Tusk would mean support Shaker, and they need a range support to go with that. So like a Lion would be good. Witch Doctor, that's in the pool and a really solid pickup. Though usually you'd have like a Witch Doctor Earthshaker protecting a harder carry than Juggernaut. Still not bad. So, 40 seconds left on the clock. There's some good disable coming out from Wyvern and Bane, but overall I still think they should be able to execute, and they go for an old one. I've been waiting to see the return of Vengeful Spirit. I think she is absolutely viable in this metagame. She's not like a huge pick, but she definitely has a potential. I don't even think she got changed in 6.85. Maybe like a agi scaling thing is possible as far as the change goes, but I'll have to double check. I have not seen her since the patch, and I barely saw her in 6.84 anyways. So, Vengeful Spirit. Agi gain increased by 0.5, base movement speed by 5, and both those changes are not irrelevant. But I think she would have been picked here without those buffs. Like, they really obviously want to emphasize negative armor. They did that last game with the Dazzle. And then they want, you know, that extra little bit of stun against the Bane. It means that even when Bane gets BKB, at the very least you have Nether Swap, along with Walrus Punch to break it down. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think Venge has some good potential here. Magic Missile into multiple spells. I mean, the Light Shark Ray would be from the mid, so it would be if Venge ever gets the opportunity to gank the Shadow Fiend, that should be at her strongest. In the meantime, Earthshaker can do his babysitter thing, or whatever he needs to do. No, I see a lot of potential value in this, and maybe Tusk could still go for that Desolator play. CDEC Youth, contemplating their final pick here, the offlane they choose is going to be Beastmaster, which is probably one of the better offlaners to deal with Juggernaut. If you can get the roar on him during Mask of Madness before he spins or Omnis, then you might just have an automatic kill. So, not bad, but also you have to worry about those defensive swaps, right? Like, if Beastmaster roars somebody, Venge can just try to swap them out and play the sacrificial card and kind of trade her life for Beastmaster's ultimate, which is a viable trade in a lot of situations. You Wave of Terror the enemy after you swap in, and then the negative Vengeance Aura, you're still haunting them even after death. So, yeah, I think there's some good potential in both lineups, honestly. It really comes down to how well these supports execute, I would say. Dogfight's Earthshaker, X on the Venge. Yang is going to be running the Tusk, but I presume in the offlane this time, as they gave the Lina to the stand-in. So, yeah, I think this has a lot of potential to be the best of three decider we're looking for it to be. I think there's just so much that can happen in this game. We're going to see an early TP out here just to place this Observer Ward. The Radiant will not see this, of course, and probably not suspect it. I've seen another cool movement as TPing to the mid lane. I think Owie 2000 did this, and just go right up here and put down an Observer Ward up top. So that's pretty slick. I'm not sure if you get as much value just running TPing out here and putting this ward down. It's not suspected, and it will give your Shadow Fiend much needed coverage, but you know, it's 75 gold for the TP. You just have to kind of weigh the pros and the cons. Do have some good Sentry spread here from the Venge and the Shaker. It's a new... I guess I can't really say if it's a new cosmetic or not. Again, we have not seen this hero for a very long time, but here's the lovely Vengeful Spirit, for those who haven't seen her. Honestly, there's probably some new spectators to Dota that have not seen this hero in play. So, she's got positioning control with her ultimate, but also mini stuns. She's got a natural stun, but not at the greatest cast range. And then she has a negative armor and an attack damage boost. So, Venge support for the win. Anyways, we're going to see actually a pretty heavy skirmish for the bottom Rinse Bomb. The Fisher should break this down very quickly. June is caught out, and they're just going to go right for the bounty. But there is going to be a Nightmare onto the Vengeful Spirit. June getting Light Striker raid, and there's going to be the spin. June taking a lot of damage here. Lina gets the bounty rune, and June gets the deny. Yes, Roshan will claim Beastmaster while Inflame kills off the Earthshaker. Obviously, I had to skill raises for this, so he didn't get the Necromastery stacks, but still, obviously a great occurrence for the Beastmaster to get the Suicide, and therefore for Shadow Fiend to get that early swing of momentum. Now, otherwise, the Radiant did get both bounty runes, so Tusk and Lina gonna be halfway to level 2, in fact, almost to level 2 here. But Inflame did get that first blood, and while he's gonna be hurting in levels, he'll have a bit more gold to work with.
Middle tower is under attack.
Alright, Ice Shards will miss. Not the strongest strong from Yang, but we are seeing some versatility from him. This is not something that I expected. Oh, because okay. Yeah, they're calling an audible here. They didn't intend to tri-lane the Tusk. They just wanted to dodge the enemy tri-lane. Since they did give up first blood, it's not the best situation for them. They're going to be rotating up top here, but they're going to do so up against some boars. And while Venge has 5 more movement speed than she used to, those boars will take it away with their poison. Inflame though caught. Fisher, Light Strike Ray, going to be killing him off. Very nice rotation there from the Earthshaker, and that ward wasn't good enough to save his life. I'm not sure if... Was that an invis? No, I mean, obviously it wasn't. It might have been a smoke, but... it looks like it was a smoke. Because there's 3 in stock at the beginning of the game, and there is 1 in inventory and 1 missing. So I believe they smoked in, got the Fisher, and made that ward kind of useless because of the early usage of Deceit. Oh, is that another block? I can't tell because of a perfect world, but it looks like Inflamed is caught out, but they're going to have to combo it with the Light Strike Ray and get some good right clicks in here. They do have a movement speed advantage. Inflamed tries to fight it out, and he just can't get enough damage in. Inflamed goes down a second time, really nullifying any advantage he got out of the first blood early on. Earthshaker just really doing a number on the Shaker. It looks like Yang will go down too. He's going to snowball for now, but a few more hits will come in, and I think he dies just a flat cannon here. Flacking the creeps, flacking the creeps. He didn't have vision for the last hit! Yang hides behind the tree here, loses line of sight, feeds, but he did juke really well before that part. Yeah, he, by losing line of sight, Flat Cannon's hit won't go through, and Gyrocopter didn't get that second hit in time. Now we're going to see a 3v1 play here. Dogfights has an easy Fisher opportunity, but he wants an even better one to the north here, and he hits it perfectly. Man, these Fisher positions are perfect, but are we going under tower for this Blade Fury spin? It looks like no. The Boar Slow goes through immunity, and it is going to slow Fan down to the point that he actually just dies. What a bunch of turnarounds. Unorthodox ones with actually Lena coming in from the side, getting perhaps scouted out already. Haste Rune or not, it looks like she won't be able to find June. And in the meantime, Demon stalking up over here. I've been waiting for a good time to reset, because obviously we're getting some lag from Dota TV and from Perfect World, but we're getting... there's so much action, it's really hard to make the call when and where to do that. So Icy has hit level 2. Collaborating with Demons here, they're going to go for double raise and the Arctic Burn, and that should be enough. They avoid a 2-man Light Strike Array, and that will give them the last raise here to finish off the stand-in. Very nice rotation there, 3v1. So the kill score being 2-4. The Tusk death probably shouldn't have happened. He was very, very greedy about trying to kill off Ame in the Gyrocopter's retreat, and then in the end, Yang still dies just to like a Bane's auto attack. Kind of awkward. Up top, the Boar Slow. How much does that Boar Slow for at this point in time? The Poison does a movement speed slow of 30%. It might have been 20% at the time, but either way, it was enough for not only Beastmaster to get away from the Juggernaut spin, but for Juggernaut to then suicide under tower, or belatedly. They'll get Sentry Control here, and they'll actually get an Observer Ward as well, the one that was placed here at the 0-minute mark. I think I have it opening, boys. I'm going to go for it. Hopefully we don't miss any kills, but I'm going to jump out and reset this Perfect World lag real quick. So, I'm not going to go for a full restart. That takes too long, but if we can break the lag, I'd be happy for it. It's a lot easier to cast the fights that way. Anyways, how things have broken down so far. A lot of action all over, nothing conclusive, but I'm interested in the fact that the Juggernaut wanted that 3v1 lane matchup against the Beastmaster. Did not want to fight 3v3. And actually going to be the fight that we were hoping for, but with a lot more lag. Okay, so Tusk gets caught in the middle of things, tries to snowball around, and in the end does get away, just barely. So, close call there, but Bane expends a lot of mana and they still don't get a kill. Yeah, we're lagging. Kale. I don't know. Tier 1 tower going to take a lot of damage here, the 5.5-minute mark. Siege creep coming through, and yeah, Tier 1 tower is going to go down if there's not any contest. There should be somebody rotating, but the question is who. Right now, the supports are preoccupied with a smoke play that actually won't work. The Observer Ward sees up that high ground, and they know about the smoke. In the meantime, obviously,
Radiant's bottom tower
there's going to be a
is
TP
under
from the
attack.
Tusk, and he'll defend the bottom lane. So, very passive play from the Beastmaster. He's a tanky hero, but obviously he can't survive from a double stun and a spin. Gonna try to break the smoke here so that he doesn't, but I don't know. I think he just has to wait it out, honestly. Uh-oh. They're gonna come out at just the right time. Despite them scouting the smoke, he thought maybe they were stalking mid. He tries to break it. Now he gets the roar out, but is there the turn? They get the call down onto Dogfights. He goes down quick, and Fan goes for the spin TP. The Vengeful Spirit dying to the Boar and the Axis. So we're actually looking at essentially a bait there. They knew the smoke was either stalking mid lane around here or stalking top lane around here. They get the gyrocopter ready to TP, and then they force the fight. And just those two turn it around beautifully. Very nicely done. So, just not getting enough out of the Juggernaut right now. He has no Omni Slash, and Beastmaster is just out-leveling everyone. If you look at overall hero levels, level 7 gyrocopter coming in, that call down being huge, and it's 2 ultimates against none. That's the bottom line, even if it is a 3v2. Laguna available, so obviously the standing will look for opportunities to make use of that, but it's not going to be easy. Okay, I can't even see raises. Guys, we're going for another reset. This time, going all the way. Score is currently 2-6 in favor of the Dire, getting some good momentum on that gyrocopter in particular. If they can get a few ancient stacks for him, they're going to be finding themselves in a very active position this game. A lot of early potential damage output because the gyrocopter will have a BKB and the Lina won't have an Aghanim Scepter. If you can negate okay. Well, this is what I'm looking at. I'm connecting to the Dota 2 game coordinator. I'm connected to Steam, but I can't reconnect until this figures itself out. This is the third time I've had to restart Dota 2 in the middle of the broadcast, and now it's the time that fails me. And guys, it's not the Perfect World servers as far as the players go, it's the Dota TV feed over the firewall. So reconnecting gets a different route, which will usually be better. Reconnecting very frequently, or restarting Dota and reconnecting are the two ways to fix Perfect World lag. The problem is, we're now in a situation where I can't reconnect to the game, which is about 1,000 times worse. So yeah, I was hoping this would be a lot more seamless transition. The first 2 games were pretty just, you know, about a minute of radio silence and there you go. But now we got problems. Alright, I'm just going to focus on technical issues rather than pseudo-broadcasting the game, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I have a solution. Alright, we're back, boys. Sorry, we missed a couple minutes of the game. I have no idea what happened, but, yeah, connecting back into it now. That's a small nightmare. That's like, the caster's worth nightmare. First, perfect world lag, and then, coordinator shuts down on you. I don't know. I really have no idea what happened, but, oh, it looks like, players are having some issues, too. Maybe we didn't miss as much after all. Alrighty. So, let's see how much has changed. Juggernaut? Omni Slash the thing? Died here. Another call down. So, obviously a fight. Laguna happened about 50 seconds ago, 52. Call down, just coming off cooldown. So there essentially we missed two skirmishes. There was one skirmish that involved the Laguna Blade and the call down, and that one seems to have concluded with I can't remember the exact kill count, so I'm not sure who profited most from it. But right now, we saw a little bit of a resurgence from the Radiant, and then just now, the Dire did just kill the Juggernaut. So he had his spin on cooldown. Actually, no, that's a short cooldown with Max Blade Fury. So anyways, he used his two cooldowns. He did not get a kill as a result of it, I don't believe. Don't think anybody has a faster respawn than that now. So, yeah, he just straight up got killed. The Shadow Fiend cleaning him up. The gyrocopter was there, but unnecessarily. Alright, I'm sorry, this is a little bit confusing, but it seems either Perfect World or Reborn or a combination of the two is having some issues, and we're trying to get back into it. So, current state of the game. Let's not really focus on the past, let's focus on the present. Right now, we have a 3,000 net worth advantage for CDEC.Y. Experience is somewhere beneath 1,000, probably closer to like 700. Oh, you can see it here. Yeah, just about 710 experience favoring CDEC. Not much, but a mild advantage. Beastmaster can be looking for Necronomicon level 3. So already got his max Call of the Wild build. Bane just looking for his level 6, going for a 3 in Brain Sap, 2 in Nightmare build. Sometimes you used to see Bane take stats over like higher ranks in Nightmare, because it was the scaling, you already have a 4-second disable. Do you really need a 5th second of disable? But because the mana cost on Brain Sap got reduced to 6.85, you don't really need to be as stat dependent. And he's going to have Arcane Boots pretty soon anyways, I believe. Unless he goes for the Blink Rush. We have a mechanism coming out on the Shadow Fiend that is actually complete now, plus 500 gold. So that Juggernaut kill really helping him out. Right now, Inflame is the man that's large and in charge. He got ganked up twice by the Earthshaker. It really hurt his momentum, but here we are. Alright. It looks like a lot of people had this issue, but hopefully we can get blue back in. That is the stand-in for VG.P. Alrighty, so Inflame having the mechanism, gonna be looking for some Death Ball push at this point. Maybe the Gyrocopter farms the side lane on the opposite side of the map and then just has the TP ready. Maybe actually comes with them for the push. It just comes down to what they feel they need at the time and who they see on the map. Vici Gaming potential. Now they have level 6 on the Venge. Not a huge game changer. Sometimes it can be, but the range of the spell is decent. 700 range, it's not bad, but there's only a few fights that it will actually turn. I'm thinking about the Winter's Curse interaction with Nether swap. I don't think I've actually ever seen a Winter's Curse target swapped. I think that the curse goes with them as they're swapped. It doesn't target the ground in that location, it targets that hero. So presumably, yeah, because I've seen Pudge Hooks do it. So essentially, if you swap a Winter's Curse away from people that are taunted by the Winter's Curse, then they should be freed of that shackle. So maybe the Venge can counter the Wyvern in its own right. That could be pretty interesting. Juggernaut really having a tough time here. Fan is right now 60 CS. He's 1 and 2 on KDA. It's just not looking pretty. Alrighty, so we've got Earthshaker. He has his level 6. He doesn't really have a great way to get back into the front lines. Like he doesn't have a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff, obviously. But, you know, there's some potential for him to maybe get a good surprise echo off. Otherwise, it's still just going to be the Fisher game for him. And, yeah, obviously blue player had some issues. Well, let's get back underway, boys. Hiccup in multiple capacities, but here at 11:45 we are going to be resuming. So, going to be looking at the Tier 1 tower most likely fall down bottom. Going to be very difficult to hold this tower with the next creep wave. I mean, Bane's rotating for it. They've got the mechanism flying in. Oh, well, Corey has to go back for it, but all the same. I don't think this Tier 1 tower is really salvageable. So they're just going to regroup. They're going to look for a smoke play, and while we're missing some particle effects, the important thing is that the Hawk has scouted that out. His line of vision will see the smoke. They won't, however, suspect top or mid. They'll probably look at bottom. They'll say, hey, they're going to be flanking us around here. Let's get back quickly. Instead, it's actually going to be coming in from this angle, which is definitely an effective angle of attack. How far do they really want to go with this? Is the question. They're getting good wards down. That's the first key thing. Sentry ward in mid. Observer ward has been here for a while. And now, of course, he has control of the dire jungle. Alright, going to be looking for that initiation. The snowball across the way. Icy will be hit. Won't get a single spell off before he goes down. And that will be an effective smoke gank. Not the ideal kill target, but certainly a good step in the right direction for VG.P. The problem is they already lost bottom Tier 1, and now CDEC are going to be in a good spot to fight for this mid. They've got the mechanism up for Inflame, and that's going to give them a lot more potential in this fight. So the mech advantage is a natural way to really enable them for 5-on-5. And with the Wyvern looking to TP in here, I think they're definitely going to be able to force it. Gyrocopter, however, is making his way to the jungle, and Radiant knows this thanks to the Observer Ward, so maybe they can engage while the Gyrocopter's not ready. And Bane looks to spread the map too. He's down bottom. So Bane gets level 6, another bump up for him. He has a lot more potential in the fights now. And Yule's coming in for the Lina pretty soon. So Soul Ring Trinkle build for the Earthshaker allows him to spam out his Fisher quite efficiently, but it isn't going to do him any favors in terms of extended initiation. He still has the same range weakness that I think they've been suffering from this game. They don't really have a means of getting to their targets and making things happen. They're kind of always going to be initiated upon by the Beastmaster, and they just kind of have to accept that. Speaking of, a double up on the stuns, but it still is going to be well worth it to bring him down. And I don't even care if Perfect Will is lagging, guys. I'm not reconnecting and risking that again. So yeah, we've got Winter's Curse and Roar coming out, and we'll just have to deal with the lag as it comes. Roar and Winter's Curse, one of them probably unnecessary, but still, the kill is the kill they're looking for. Killing off the Juggernaut, preventing that Battle Fury progression, that's huge. Gyrocopter is going to just completely outpace him now. He's got the Dominator, no, drums. He's going drums and leaving the Morbid Mask as it is. So the supports might be stuck manually stacking the Ancients for him. Hawk Vision from June really giving some good understanding of what's going on. And I don't believe the Wave of Terror caught sight of the Dire. A lot of times you can see an easy kill for the Bane just sitting up on this hill. And whenever somebody comes to farm either this camp or just walk right up, you can go for the Fiend's Grip, which is great. But in this case, it is going to be the Blink Dagger save for demons. I really like this. If you have the mana to support your spells naturally, at least one volley of your spells, the Blink Dagger can actually just destroy certain heroes and allow you to position a lot better against the other ones. Yule is complete. This stand-in needs to get some work done. He'll come in, he'll flank in this position here, and that'll allow them to push while he has the potential to pick somebody off with the Yules. But he doesn't even want to take that risk. They really just want to play this safe. Just have the Earthshaker behind, have the Lina behind, ready and waiting in case something happens, and then only have one hero on the tower itself. But in the meantime, they say, okay, well, if you want to poke at our tower with 90 damage at a time, we'll just take Roche. And that takes no time at all to bring that down and get the Aegis for themselves. Inflame now immortal. Has a BKB in 1,000 gold. A lot of things looking up for CDEC here. They're going to try to go on June, but this might be ill-advised. He's tanky, and they have TPs coming in. They're going to be able to at least get the Roar out onto the Tusk here. They have Swap out to try to save the Tusk, and it looks like that would have worked if not for this Winter's Curse. Now the Fiend's Grip. A lot of ultimates coming in, and all of them netting some really good damage in the fights. Light Strike Array onto Demons will cancel out that Fiend's Grip, and Ice Shards will finish him off. Echo Slam coming through onto Ame, but it only takes him down to about 500 HP. The Snowball will come in. They will be able to follow it up with the Light Strike Array, and that might be enough to kill off the Gyrocopter. No, he kites away. That movement speed advantage with the drums and the phase. He gets pretty far before the Fisher finishes him off, and then they'll all limp away. So, sole survivors here is the Shadow Fiend, who had to drop his TP for the Aegis, so he couldn't come to the fight. And then the Winter Wyvern, who just kind of hides under the tower as everybody limps away. So I think that's the biggest factor about it. They saw the Shadow Fiend either under ward or farming without a TP scroll. Because he went for the Aegis and had to drop the TP, they knew that they could take that fight because it was essentially an automatic 5v4. So they go ahead, they hard initiate on the Beastmaster, knowing that although it's a positioning disadvantage, that they have the bailout tools with the swap, with the Light Strike Array, that they can win that 5v4, and that's what they did. So now 9 to 10 is a kill score, and Fan is actually getting some real items out now. Just needs a little bit more for that broadsword. Bum. Big Dagger up for Demons. Going to be just essentially babysitting Ame as he pushes down bottom. They've got great wards out for him too. They have one in the jungle, one in the lane, but for the next 3 minutes this will be a very safe place for the Gyrocopter. And smokes seem to be down for the Radiant. They used that one smoke early for the mid lane and 2 or 3 for the ganks, and suddenly they're completely out of smoke to see. So really big difference maker there. Demon's going to be walking into trouble, but it looks like he'll just jump away. The Wave of Terror can put his blink on cooldown, but it looks like they just suspected him warding, and while that is the case, they're a little off the mark, unfortunately for them. The Observer Ward will stand, and they'll keep tabs on stacks, etc. that Gyrocopter can go and steal. Speaking of stacks, triple, quadruple coming out for Gyrocopter here, and only one set of Black Dragons, so there is the health and armor aura for all these guys, but Ame will still clear these out relatively quickly, and he did get that Dominator next. Fan with the Battle Fury. Let's see what he does with it. I expect him just to focus on farming right now. Obviously they can't fight the Aegis, as that's still going to be up for another minute and a half. But while they don't want to fight the Aegis, they're going to be forced into a defensive position where essentially, yeah, there's going to be push pressure, there's going to be TP reactions. They're going to try to find this 5v5 somewhere. Up top, Yang looking for the last hit on the tower. Icy has that Winter's Curse to guarantee a deny if that's how he wants to use it. But right now he's just Splinter Blasting from the tree line and trying to scare him off. Tower down to 149. And it looks like it'll stay there. June and Demons coming through. Only a Necro 1, but it might be enough just to jump on Yang. Stand in here. Has the Yules, has the Light Strike Array, but it's not going to be enough to save Yang. He's already dead. Now, Stan going to head for the hills, go for the TP away. The Hawk won't scout him in time, though there was a nice little call down there. So yeah, Inflame won't be able to use this Aegis, it looks like, but he has a BKB mech, so no matter what, he's a huge anchor to their Death Ball. He's able to just kind of stay there, sieging the tower confidently, and only a Blink Echo can scare him off. That's why Dogfight's farm is so important. Right now, Dogfight's is only 3,900 net worth, but he's still close enough that he should be able to find this Blink Dagger for the high ground. Gonna just go ahead, probably Fisher and clear out these creeps, and that's gonna put him in the money for the Blink. He just has to run home. Run, little Urshika, run! He doesn't have a TP, but he has a Blink, and that's the key thing. So to lose the top tier 2, they've lost their tier 1s. We're lagging hard, but we're doing what we can. Juggernaut going to be killed off by Bane. Yang coming in, getting the hit onto Inflame, but he'll just, yeah, pop the BKB in the mech and survive. Yang swapped out, but going to go down to the call down, and the tier 2 tower will fall. So the Aegis, they go in right when the Aegis is expiring, and they timed that really well, but it just was an ill-advised jump. The Juggernaut, I think he tried to TP to the fight up top, and instead Demons caught him with the Blink Fiend's Grip and actually just kills him off. So Tusk did survive the call down, despite what our laggy picture slideshow will tell you. But beyond that, really not the best situation for VG.P. Dogfights is probably going to show the Blink Dagger just on a creep wave or something by the time it becomes relevant. And yeah, they lost it out with the Juggernaut in the mid. That was really a great play from the Bane, finding that Blink opening and just getting essentially a solo kill on a carry. That's immense. So we've got a 7,500 net worth advantage for CDEC Youth, 7,500 experience as well, and they're taking control of the jungle, at least to a decent extent. And you'll notice a key thing here, just a little special note for support players there. He had observers in this general area, he dewards this area, clears out a sentry. Don't drop an observer in this spot. Like, once you've done that, you've established that you can place wards there, and as a result, the most common thing VG.P will do is just drop a sentry here in about a minute or two. So what Demons needs to do is drop an obs like all the way down here, like obviously outside the tower range, but you get the idea. So what that means is that even if they deward in the middle of the jungle, they're not going to see this one. So he had a good one up here, which didn't get caught out. Now he's going to have a good one out here, which should do the same thing. Inflame, caught in Ice Shards, doesn't really care. He's got regen, mech, BKB. This guy's strong. This Shadow Fiend is monstrous. And then he's got the Wyvern at his back. He's got most of his team at his back. The Beastmaster continues to build himself up. He's nowhere near for this fight though, and I think VG.P should know this, may be able to take advantage of it. Man, they need something to really come out of this Juggernaut. Obviously, he's looking for S&Y next. That's his standard build, is Battle Fury into S&Y. But we'll hope that he gets something sooner rather than later. We do have an Aghanim Scepter, but there's going to be a Blink Fiend's Grip. The swap can come through, and the Fissure will break the Fiend's Grip. Swap defensively doesn't break Fiend's Grip, but the Fissure will. So good stun there from Dogfights, and he goes in for the Blink Echo Slam, doing some massive damage here, but Ame looks to turn it around. The Winter's Curse, the Call Down, just destroying the Venge. Ame will be destroyed by the Laguna Blade in turn, and there is no mana for the Omni Slash, but he'll just spin on Demons, no problem at all, and that will clean up 2 for 3. So great Echo, great Laguna as well, and it still doesn't seem to be enough to bring it back. But we'll look at the fight recap, and we do see the Golden Experience does change hands favorably, especially for this Juggernaut. So while it might not be numerically a victory through kills, they get more out of it, and that's the key thing. They are at a disadvantage, even holding this kind of even trade position. They're going to profit from it, and that's important. So expect more from the Laguna Blade against the Gyrocopter. As he approaches his BKB, that's going to be one of the few things that really does enough to him. Walrus Punch, Omni Slash, Laguna Blade. That's what's going to really give the Gyrocopter some pain. Shadow Fiend going for an S&Y himself. Already has his core items up, and I'm actually wondering where's the next power spike coming from. Gyrocopter, obviously, he can get a big item like a butterfly or something, and that'd be pretty swell. Other than that, I mean, Beastmaster maybe looks for a Blink or BOTs, but they're not really getting that much stronger right now. I mean, and Wyvern Blink is pretty huge. I guess I can say that much. Icy, this guy is all about his ultimates, and while Ancient Apparition kind of underwhelmed, what he did with the Witch Doctor tells me what he can do with this Wyvern. He can do some amazing things, and Blink Dagger would be the tool that really enables that. So, smoked up here on the side, I believe. The Earthshaker tries to scout things out, but doesn't find anything. And in the end, they're just going to lurk in the tree line. Maybe the carries come out to play. And if you can get a Blink Echo before the BKBs come out, you can get a lot of damage on the Gyrocopter with the SF. In fact, the SF here, I'm going for the raises, and Earthshaker will keep waiting, but I don't think he has any reinforcements. So we'll just look over, and Wyvern, is he going to go for that Blink Dagger? I don't feel like there's any other item you go on Wyvern at this stage of the game. I mean, yeah, Vlad's helps your teammates quite a bit. Counteracts the Wave of Terror, but I think you want the Blink. That's what I would go for. In the meantime, Bane, he's made up for his mana deficit with Arcane Boots, and that's pretty much all he needs. This is the Bane core. We could see another Glimmer Cape come out, but there's not that much magic damage anymore with the Aghanims being upgraded on Lina.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
So,
attack.
yeah, I would say maybe just go for a
Radiant's
BKB,
bottom tower has
go for a
fallen.
Linken's on Bane. I think that'd be pretty good. But either way. Venge just playing the 5 position here, only 2,600 net worth, so the Earthshaker couldn't have that Blink Dagger. And he's still hanging around in these trees, so I'm curious if he just plans to clear a creep wave with that or what. In the meantime, Rain Observer Ward not giving intel into the pit, and we're just going to see Roshan get brought down pretty easily. No big Echo Slams to catch them off guard. Age is going to go to the Gyrocopter, and that is going to be their 5-minute window to try to take a Rax. They don't have to, they still have a good late game, but it would be really, really advantageous for them to just clear out the Rax. So, where do we go from here? We got the Blink Dagger on the Wyvern, plenty of tools of initiation now in the hands of CDEC between the Bane and the Wyvern. But it's mostly going to be the Gyrocopter that just stands and delivers for the Siege, and those heroes kind of back him up. They're going to go for a smoke flank play. They would really have loved to find a pick on mid, but they just cleared out with the Dragon Slave the Ice Shards and make it so they don't have to stay there too long. Still going to keep on going. Looks like they'll find the Earthshaker here. The Fiend's Grip on him since he's the one who can cancel it. And that will clear out one hero. Without an Echo Slam to worry about, they're going to be happy just to walk right up to high ground. Tier 2, then Tier 3, no hesitation. There's going to be some split push in turn on the top lane, but that does not matter compared to the Tier 3 damage that we're about to see received. So let's switch over to buyback status. We see Juggernaut's the only one with it, and that could be a really big problem. The Sigil, a little annoying, is going to be microed pretty carefully, but Necro's up. Shadow Fiend, Gyrocopter both up in a very gross position. I think Shadow Fiend is the target. If you can focus on him and kill him off without clumping up too much from the Winter's Curse, then you have a chance at this fight, but otherwise you're in some real trouble. They popped the Glyph already. Their Shaker's coming in. Doesn't have a smoke to cover his approach. He just has to run in and look for the Blink, and CDEC obviously aren't going to have any of that. They'll take their Tier 3, they'll take the melee Rex, and they'll walk away very, very happy. Over 10,000 net worth in their pocket, 7,300 or 7,800 gold, and yeah, we'll see them just gonna continue to spread the map. Now, Aegis timer right now has 3 minutes left on it. I think that's enough for them to look for another lane. They haven't exhausted any resources since their last push, but they still have to be more and more worried about that Echo Slam. You're gonna have boars and wolves and all these other things along with the creep wave and the heroes. Is that a blink? And it'll be a lot easier for the Earthshaker to find that Echo Slam and get some massive damage out of it, especially as he closes it on level 11 and gets just that nice little extra boost to the Echo Slam echoes. So, we're going to be looking at Juggernaut just continuing to farm. He actually goes for the Blink Dagger here, and this is going to help his approach quite a bit, because before it was like you're walking through a minefield that disables, and you're probably going to get hit by like a Winter's Curse, a Roar, or a Fiend's Grip before you get on your target. If you blink Omni Slash, you won't have to worry about that. Essentially now they put CDEC in a very uncomfortable position where if they bunch up with their creep wave, they die to the Echo Slam, and if they spread out, then they take a lot of damage from this Juggernaut's Omni Slash, who is now level 17, by the way. So, I actually really like this idea from Fan, but if they get scouted over the tree line, they're still going to be in trouble, and this Hawk could very well do just that. Beastmaster's Hawk, very, very strong in this position, just scouting the enemy out. They see the Venge, and they're able to really keep tabs on enemies' positioning. Sigil does that to a lesser extent, but this Hawk is giving some really good information. Still, it looks like the Gyrocopter's Aegis will just expire. They've only got 1 minute left, and they're nowhere near the bottom lane. So, they're just going to say, hey, we got a single Interax out of our first Roshan, and we're very happy with that. Actually, the second Roshan, now that I think about it. And remember, guys, this is both teams' chance at the summit right here. 1-1, final game of the best of 3, final round of the pre-qualifier. Whichever team takes this game will be going into the summit for Chinese qualifiers, and that's huge. I mean, there's a minimum $100,000 on the line at the tournament itself, and everybody's looking for that qualification. So, right now, we've got CDEC.Y in a great position to seize it, to move forward, but VG.P, they still have some fight left in them. They're just looking for picks right now. Lina really wants to stretch the game out with just one Yule's Aghanims play. She's got the blink. They've got a lot of ways where they can jump on targets, but I'm not sure if they have that surprise factor. It seems like their movements are really well planned out, but CDEC has a good read on them. Invis, double damage, Beastmaster. Only dust to detect him. That's not going to actually do the trick. He's going to still get this initiation off, and we'll see who comes in. Bane here only has a regular TP scroll, so I'm not sure if they want this fight, but if they can get a 2-man hit on this Beastmaster Roar, then yes, they take the Venge down immediately and go onto the Earthshaker thereafter. Just a nice collaboration of kills, and suddenly both supports will go down. Those are going to be the quick heroes to respawn a little bit quicker, but still a nice little pick off. The question is whether the Necronomicon usage was worth it, because these guys are going to be timing out in 15 seconds. They might get a volley of hits on the tier 3, but it doesn't even look like that will happen. So, yeah, the Necronomicons are going to be gone, but you're still going to get about 8 good seconds without the Earthshaker.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And there we go. Tier 3 going down very, very quickly, and it's going to be VG.P to make the hole. Lina and Juggernaut have buybacks, so you're going to see them be a little bit more aggressive in this exchange.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
It's difficult, though. It really is. Right now, they'll just try to slow it down, repel them with the ice shards. And, that timing window not only gets both supports online, but it also gets these TP scrolls off cooldown, which, if they're going to have to buy back in the middle of the fight, is actually really important. We're going to see Yang jump in, Walrus Punch onto Gyrocopter here. He's got a BKB and a Satanic. Will he get the chance to use it? Yes, he will. Just laying into this Tusky. Snowball's out, despite the damage coming in from the Shadow Fiend, but it'll be cleaned up on the tail end, and again, he does not have buyback. With the next creep wave, they'll look to jump in. Yeah, here onto the melee. Rax Glyph is going to be needed. Where is that Echo Slam? We're going to see June find out the Lina in the tree line, roars her up, kills her off, and Dogfights is caught in the Nightmare. Venge is caught in the Fiend's grip, and they are crumbling right now. Dogfights gets a great Echo off, but this Gyrocopter is so damn tanky, and there's no Laguna to finish him off. He will persist. They'll take the top lane, and that very well might be game. Juggernaut was back here. Caught the Wyvern. I mean, he killed off the Wyvern with his Omni Slash, but other than that, he had to head for the hills. Otherwise, he would have been dead too. They don't really have many options at this point. Gyrocopter goes back to the jungle to heal up via Satanic, and the bottom Rax is now the final prize for CDEC.Y. They are so close. They can taste it. They're ready for the Summit for China, and we'll see VG.P try to make their last hold. Rax goes down. Gonna see the jump in here. Demons gets knocked up by that Walrus Punch, fan spinning onto Inflame and Ame, but it's not gonna do enough damage against the Satanic. The Laguna certainly will, though. They do clean them up that way. A couple good crits, the Laguna. And nice stun timing allows chain stun onto the Shadow Fiend. They will bring him down. Now going in on Beastmaster. The Roar versus the Swap. The Boars will do the work. Down to 15 HP and now dead. They will bring down the Lina and walk away with only one Rex remaining. Oh, gosh. So, they do get a massive gold and experience influx, but I can't say that that's going to be enough when there's literally a 1,000 HP building between victory and defeat. It's difficult. It's a really difficult game. And I don't see an easy answer. I mean, Fan can get an Abyssal Blade, he can get a Butterfly, or close to it, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough. I think you do go for the Abyssal, though. You want to counter these BKBs and the Shadow Fiend and the Gyrocopter, and the Abyssal is the way to do it. So we'll see him pick that up, while the Lina, what is she looking for? Ghost Scepter? Could be good. Moon Shard on the Juggernaut. I've talked about this a number of times. I think it is the best 5th item you can get on Juggernaut, and by the numbers, everybody should pick it up at some point before the late game. So maybe that'll be enough. The Omni Slash is going to be that much more powerful with the extra attack speed in between those slashes. But you are up against the Ghost Scepter, the Cold Embrace. No Yules? No, it looks like that's about it. Nightmare. Okay, that's the last one. I knew there was one more. So Nightmare, Cold Embrace, and Ghost Scepter will alleviate the effects of the Omni Slash, but this Moon Shard makes his attacks hit so fast. You might even be able to bash. Yeah, you can definitely bash during Omni Slash, so might get a few procs there. Shadow Fiend has that Aegis though, and we've seen what they could do with that last Aegis. Ame was able to just tear through the enemy line with that Aegis, the Immortal, and I expect Shadow Fiend could do much the same thing. Ame probably could have picked it up, but he's got Satanic. He's going to have Butterfly. Like, there's no need to have the Aegis and the Gyrocopter. Just give it the SF, and although you won't have a TP scroll, once again, it looks like they'll just be able to move in all together. Oh, this could be great! A surprise attack coming in with the Echo Slam, but they all blink back. They were hoping there would be a couple heroes on this creep wave, and they could just jump in on them. That would have been huge. You can Echo Slam initiate, you can pull somebody out of position with Swap, and you can actually stop the fight before it begins. But they didn't get that opportunity, and now they're going to have to reset here. Inflame with the Aegis, walking right in, and they can just pop their BKBs as soon as they're within range of the melee racks. There's no glyph, so it's actually worth it just to go for those 8-second charges. And 6-second in the case of Inflame, but he's going to get bashed up a little bit here. Is there going to be a Winter's Curse on Juggernaut? Yes, there is, and he has no buyback. He bought out for the Moon Shard, and we won't even see it get to be used. Oh, CDEC.Y taking this second game of the best of 3. Echo Slams or not, they jam it in, but they die in the process. VG.P, they really did try to bring this one back. They played marvelously in Game 2, had a really strong draft, but maybe they're still a little bit too reliant on this Juggernaut pick for Fan. I don't feel like he's found his hero in this metagame. There's been a lot of changes to a lot of heroes, but I don't feel like Juggernaut is that top tier pick that they're making out to be, where they always pick it third if they can. I like the hero, but there's so many other heroes, and for example, the Alchemist I think was in the pool the entire time for this last match. And while the last match had an Ancient Apparition and you wouldn't pick it there, I think it could have been a strong pick for this third game and the third pick for them. Instead they go with the Juggernaut. Obviously Fan has some really good optimization with it, but in the end it's not enough to take the game back. Some really good play and counterplay coming in from June and Ame. They worked together so well up top with that turnaround gank when they were essentially level 6 and 7 against those level 5s. Just a roar and call down. Just a great combo of abilities in that tough situation. So CDEC Youth really showing that they have the chops to take the hard fights and push them forward over VG.P. They take the series 2-1. They will be advancing to the summit for China, the full-on qualifier. This is the end of the pre-qualifier run for them, but not the end of the broadcast for you guys viewing at home. We're going to be switching gears here. I believe it's already 12 minutes past schedule, so we're going to be getting into it. It's going to be DK versus Tong Fu. That is the other team that made it to the semi-final round, and that best-of-3 match will be played to see who else is going to be joining CDEC.Y in the Chinese qualifier. So CDEC.Y will advance, and the other best-of-3 will decide the second slot. So DK versus Tong Fu going to be coming up in just a few minutes. The stream is going to drop as I'm turning that over to my man Lysander, and I hope you guys enjoy that game. Thanks once again for tuning in, and to Beyond the Summit. I hope you guys enjoy the Summit 4 as we get on with more qualifier action and, of course, the wonderful main event. Thanks once again. I'm Blaze. Follow me at BlazeCasting if you enjoyed the commentary, and we'll see you guys later.